Well, Antoni Kapcia joins me live now from Nottingham. He's a professor of Latin American history at the University of Nottingham. Great to have you with us today. So, 60 years of the Castros in Cuba, almost impossible to separate their influence from the country itself.
I think that's true as far as the world is concerned, because the focus has always been initially on Fidel and then, of course, in the last 10 years on Raul. That, all, of course, overlooked a lot of other significant players in the leadership, and it made assumptions about the domination of the individual, which turned out not always to be as true as, for example, Washington always believed. But yes, it's symbolically significant. As your report said, that this move was expected. Expected 10 years ago. He promised to serve only 2 terms if re-elected. And that's what he's done, exactly as he did as president when he was elected president in 2008. So no great surprise, but symbolically significant.
So will it be the start of big changes for Cuba, do you think?
I don't think so, if only because fundamentally the real key element of anything to do with Cuba is the US embargo. And the US embargo stays. It's still there. And as long as that's there, there's a significant limitation on the freedom of action of any Cuban president or leader of the Cuban Communist Party. So there won't be any rapid change. There won't be any significant change. Miguel Diaz-canel, who's been president since 2018, has continued the same reform policies that Raul started when he became president. And I would expect that those would carry on, regardless of who is actually the party leader to follow Raul.
So what do you think will be considered the legacy of the Castros?
Well, the legacy of the Castros, I mean, how long have you got for me to answer that? Because, as you said, 60 years, although Fidel was not leader formally until some months into, 1 month actually, into 1959, and thereafter was only president of Cuba from 1976. But yes, it's very difficult to summarize the legacy. The legacy, I think, most significantly of both of them has been the survival of the revolution, survival of the system. In spite of the embargo, in spite of constant pressure from the outside, it has survived, and survived the collapse of the Soviet Union, which is, well, 3 decades ago. So that is self-significant. Raul's legacy is also significant because he promised to modernize. He used the term actualizar, to modernize, bring it up to date, to modernize the system. And he has done that quite successfully, at least until Trump was elected and until COVID hit Cuba, because both of those have seriously affected the economy.
And you mentioned the US embargo. Despite this whole 60-year period, they never mended the relationship with America. Is that one of the main challenges for the Castro successor?
Well, they did. It is a challenge. They did, of course, mend relations because the United States did partially recognize Cuba under Jimmy Carter way back in 1977. Never went any further than that partial recognition. And of course, Raul Castro and Barack Obama did formally raise the level of recognition to normal relations. But the embargo continued. And indeed, Trump has tightened it very, very significantly, probably more than any president since 1960, 61, 62, when the embargo started. That is a real challenge. And of course, combined with COVID, which has completely cut tourist income from Cuba, and the tourism is the basis of the economy. So they are surviving on a shoestring at the moment. So that is clear challenge for whoever succeeds, yeah.
OK, Antoni Kapcia from the University of Nottingham, thanks very much indeed for joining us.